Welcome, mortal souls, to Strange Darkness Radio. Within the echoes of our host's haunting voices, terror weaves through the airwaves like a malevolent symphony. I am Benson, your spectral guide, leading you into the uncharted realms of the macabre. Brace yourself for a descent into a paranormal abyss with the host of Strange Darkness Radio as they traverse through tales that linger in the shadows. Spectral apparitions, haunted domains, cryptids, and otherworldly encounters. Embrace the darkness, extinguish the lights, and steel your nerves for a bone-chilling night into the heart of the unknown. It's time for Strange Darkness Radio.
I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Welcome back to Strange Darkness Radio. We are back for another episode. This one is going to be very interesting. I'm your host, Bobby Washington, along with Amy Tydeman and Carolyn Grey. Ladies, how are you doing this evening?
Pretty too bad. Happy to be here. Happy to see you guys again.
Awesome. Always fun and happy to see you ladies. So tonight is going to be an interesting tale of time. But before we get into that, man, there's been a lot going on this year. I feel like I've been running and doing show things ever since December. But like we stated on a previous episode, which you guys should have heard by now, that we do have a new co-host. Her name is Vanessa Scaduto. And I think she's going to be an added benefit to Strange Darkness Radio. And, her name... Her name is very easy to say, but I want to say Scaduto because it's Italian, and that's always in my mind. And the way I say it, I don't like the way I say it, but that's just me. But anyways, this is our first true episode without having a guest on to where we can just sit back, banter. We do have a particular subject, like I said before, about time, but I also wanted to go ahead and introduce her since she can't make it to this episode because right now she's probably actually on stage. And if you listen to the first episode, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. But she'll explain it. Here we go.
Hey everyone, I'm Vanessa Scaduto, and I am so excited to be joining the Strange Darkness Radio family. I'm a stand-up comedian, podcast host, and someone who's always had a fascination with the unexplained. And trust me, I've had my fair share of eerie, unexplainable experiences. You might know me from Los Rotos podcast. That's my show where I mix comedy, life's chaos, and yes, some paranormal vibes too. And you can follow us on Instagram at Los Rotos podcast or check us out on YouTube at Upside Down Creative Media to check it out. And if you're wondering what makes me tick, let's just say I'm a bit of an intuitive. I've always had a knack for sensing things that don't quite fit the norm. And when I'm not exploring the supernatural, you'll find me on stage doing stand-up or sharing my adventures online on Instagram at Red Hair Anomaly. I can't wait to share stories, laughs, and maybe even a few goosebumps with you. So buckle up because things are about to get a little weird, a little wonderful, and a whole lot of fun.
Greetings, Vanessa. I'm Benson. I'm sure we've met before, but we'll talk about that another time. Now, back to the show.
Yes. Welcome, Vanessa. She should be on our next show and all that good stuff. Ladies, anything to say about our new guest?
I loved the music. That was awesome. That was a really good intro.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, can't wait to hear her stories in person and get to know her better.
Yes, Vanessa is very intuitive when it comes to all things paranormal, and she has a very great and unbelievable gift, so we'll explore all that, and she has some great paranormal stories and circumstances and situations, and she's very knowledgeable when it comes to this field as a host and as a person that's really entrenched into the paranormal. So on tonight's...
What's the gift? Can you give us a preview, or are you going to wait for a surprise for the first episode with her?
To me, she has a lot of gifts. She'll explain and we'll discuss because, it's going to be very interesting. Mm-hmm. All right, so now let's go ahead and get into our tonight's episode, which to me is very intriguing. Do you guys believe in time slips? Do you believe time machines are possible? Do you believe that time travelers have traversed our skies and our Earth, whether it's from the past, whether it's from different realities? Let's go ahead and let Benson introduce this episode for tonight, and then we'll get into it.
In the depths of the night, when shadows dance and whispers echo through the void, welcome to Strange Darkness Radio. I am Benson, your spectral guide, here to lead you through the twisting corridors of the unknown. Tonight, we embark on a journey that defies the very fabric of reality itself. Prepare yourselves, dear listeners, for we are about to become lost in time. Time, a relentless river that carries us all in its inexorable flow. But what if that flow could be disrupted? What if the boundaries between past, present, and future were nothing more than an illusion, waiting to be shattered? Tonight, we delve into tales that challenge our understanding of temporal existence. Stories of individuals who claim to have slipped through the cracks of chronology, finding themselves adrift in eras not their own. We'll explore accounts of mysterious artifacts that seem to defy the linear progression of history and unravel the enigma of those who speak of futures yet to come. As we navigate this labyrinth of temporal anomalies, remember, time is not just a measure of moments past, but a vast, unexplored realm filled with secrets and dangers beyond our comprehension. So dim the lights, draw close, and prepare to lose yourself in the eerie expanse of time itself. This is Strange Darkness Radio, and you're listening to Lost in Time. Let the journey begin.
So, do you guys believe in time travelers? Let's go with you, Amy. What do you believe?
That's a tough one. I mean, I certainly don't think that it is impossible, but have I seen any compelling evidence of actual time travelers? Like, getting into a machine and traveling to the past or future, I haven't found anything believable as of yet. So kind of curious to hear what your guys' takes and stories are on that, but I don't believe it. And I'll also tell you, I think Stephen Hawking had a brilliant idea. I don't know if you guys heard about that party that he threw.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so he basically went all out and threw a party for time travelers, but he didn't tell anyone about the party until after the party had ended. So therefore, if you were an actual time traveler, you would have come back in time and attended that party and prove that time travel is real. So
did anyone go to the party?
Nobody showed up to the party, not one single person.
They were at the Diddy party. They were not at his party.
I was going to say.
That was more exciting. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe people just didn't want to go to his party.
Yeah.
Hey, who wouldn't want to go to his party? It sounded like a
time
cool
travel.
party.
Amy would have been there. I believe
I would have
Amy
been there,
would have
and
been
you
there.
would think people want to prove, other people wrong. Like they would have showed up just to prove people wrong and be like,
One
hey.
day we're going to see a picture of that party and it's just Amy and Stephen Hawking.
Exactly.
It's going to go circulating the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, so I mean, but I don't find it impossible. I just have not heard any compelling evidence, and
Okay.
I know we're gonna go over some people that have claimed that, and I've got some thoughts about that when we start talking about it. But I don't know. Show me some compelling evidence.
Got it. What about you, Carolyn?
Yeah, I'm with Amy. I mean, I don't think it's impossible, but researching for this show was really a struggle because every story you find, it's like you then find all this evidence showing against it or disproving it, and it was really difficult. But I I think we were able to find some interesting stories. So, but, and that's kind of the nature of the topic too. I mean, even if someone did come from the past or the future, how are they really ever going to be able to prove that anyway? So I think researching this topic is difficult anyway, whether it's true or not. You can't really ever know. So, but it's going to be interesting but it's going to be interesting to get into the stories. So,
yeah, that's very true. But also, if they end up changing something, it may not be exactly what they told us or did, because some of these, just speaking of time travelers right now, some of these people needed to change time. That's why they were here. So in the process of doing that, they could have changed the events that they were privy to and that they thought were going to take place. And not all events, but some events. So I do find it very intriguing and very interesting that just the thought of someone in 2080 or 2090 coming back to a point in time and them being from whatever country, what would be the reason for that? You know what I mean? To fix something, to, do something,
right. And then if they accomplish it, then it's never going to happen. So how would anyone ever know?
Exactly.
Right.
Yes. So there lies a rub.
True.
And then let alone the government erasing things just so that person is not known, or the events that they changed or manipulated doesn't gain attention. Whether it's something as major as a nuclear weapon firing off and destroying the world, whether it's something like the stock market crashing and causing different, whether it's Civil War, World War III, just all the above. Well, let's get into it. So I'm going to start because I have something very interesting, and these are just little tidbits, like not did you knows, but something that I just find very interesting. And I want to talk about it and then see what you guys think. So throughout history, there have been several instances where photographs or video footage has sparked speculation about potential time travelers looking out of time. And so what I want to do is get your all's opinion on this. So there's the time traveling hipster. A photograph from 1941 shows a man at the reopening of the South Fork Bridge in Canada wearing what appears to be modern sunglasses, a printed t-shirt, standing out from the crowd in period-appropriate attire. So they're wearing clothes for that era, but he's not. I don't know when Ray-Ban actually came into existence, and I'm sure you guys seen this photo that I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, especially that outfit. It looks like something that people were wearing in high school when I was in high school.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it looks very, very modern, his outfit.
And especially compared to what everyone else is wearing around him, he definitely sticks out.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But, and it's the jacket too. He's got like kind of a striped hoodie on that just does not match. Oh, oops, sorry. Did you hear that?
No.
Oh my God. Hold on. I'm sorry. I accidentally clicked on the picture and it started playing a video.
Oh, no worries.
Anyway, the shirt and the jacket definitely look out of place. I did watch a video that kind of broke this photo down, and they were, obviously it was a skeptic, so they were, discounting everything. But they were saying the shirt he's wearing could be a football team from back then. Like they had that M logo on their football.
Yeah.
Jerseys or whatever.
Montreal Maroons. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a popular hockey team, I think.
Okay. But
and then go ahead. Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, and the sunglasses too, they said they were not popular at the time, but they were in existence.
Was Ray-Ban?
So,
because those are clearly like Ray-Bans.
I don't think those are actually Ray-Bans,
no,
are they?
I'm talking about here's the thing about glasses, especially when they first came out, they patent the shapes, they patent the style, they patent a lot of things back in the day. And so I'm just saying To me, they
Maybe
look
they
like
were the very
Ray-Bans.
first pair.
Oh no, for sure. He was
Yeah.
a very first stylish
Yeah.
looking dude, I guess. That
Right, he was the
drew,
first hipster.
drew
Yeah,
attention.
he could have just been ahead of his time. Like, maybe people looked at him and, like we look at people now like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're
What is
wearing
he
that.
wearing?
Yeah. And he was probably one of those people. He didn't care to be part of, the norm. And so he looked different, but I don't think it's fair to say that these things didn't exist though, just because it looks out of place. It just probably wasn't popular at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think, Bobby? Do you
It's an
believe
odd
he
photo.
traveled? Yeah, it is. He does really look out of place though.
I think it's an
Yeah.
odd photo. I think it's his whole being, meaning his hairstyle, his jacket, his shirt, the pants, just everything about his look seems out of place, because it actually even seems like someone photoshopped that into that image.
Yeah.
But again, who knows? That is the mystery of time travel. But okay, I got another one for you guys. The Time Traveling Woman. A clip from the 1928 Charlie Chaplin film, The Circus, shows a woman walking by, seemingly talking on a cell phone. This footage gained viral attention in 2010. And I'm sure you guys have also seen this particular footage, very popular, about the woman. She's walking past even like a theater storefront, and she has the device up to her ear. Now, a lot of people have said, well, it's a hearing aid. Well, she wasn't talking to anyone. That's the thing. She wasn't with anyone. She was walking by herself. They usually use like horns, at that time period for like hearing aids, where you put it in your ear and you can, it gives you a little volume to what you're hearing. And she is not talking to anyone. She's talking into whatever she's doing as she's walking down the street, and dressed very well, mind you. She's not, like a homeless person. Doesn't look unstable as far as how we would consider someone being disheveled and so on and so forth. She looked high society, and she was talking to herself on a box.
Well, I feel like, everything can be debunked. So I saw that they said that was a handheld hearing aid that was actually manufactured in 1925. But aside from that,
Okay, but who was she talking to?
She could not have been talking into an actual cell phone, because there were no cell towers back then. What
Amy,
technology
we're talking about
would she
devices,
have been using?
and that's the thing. We're not talking about cell phones from our time. We're talking about a person who is in disguise,
from the future.
who is in disguise, who is talking in whatever device from their time period, or from another reality, who knows, and speaking into that device. My thing is, who was she talking to, regardless of what?
Well, if it's a hearing aid, she doesn't have to be talking to anyone, right? It's just so she can
she was
hear
literally talking as
what's
she was
going on
walking
around
down.
her.
No, she was
It
literally.
is.
Does it show
It's
her?
an odd picture for sure.
Yeah.
No,
Does
it's
it
a
show
video.
her talking in the video though?
Yeah.
Oh,
well,
video,
no, it's a
right.
silent video. Now, if during the movie that wasn't B-roll, meaning actual footage of just pedestrians, and it was actually a movie set, maybe you guys know about Watermelon. Back in the day, when people were talking, let's say me and Amy are having a conversation, Carolyn's in the background with a bunch of actors. They were all saying watermelon back in the day, just so it looks like a conversation.
Just to make it look like they're talking.
Exactly. So now,
But
go ahead.
But Bobby, who's to say that she wasn't talking to someone in front of her or behind her?
No, there is no. Have you seen the footage? There's a gap.
Yeah,
She's
I've
not
seen
walking
that
with
footage.
anyone.
This would
there
have been
people
the
are
perfect
passing.
opportunity
Yeah.
to play that for us, and then we, I'd have to go back and look at it, but
Yeah.
to me, it's possible that she could have been talking to someone 10 feet in front of her. Maybe she's yelling at her kid or something like that. Everything can be explained about
And why
that.
would she be walking on a set in a movie anyway? It does look weird. I forgot. See, I was looking at a picture, like an image, but I forgot. I've seen the actual video, and you're right. She's talking to someone.
Yes.
Whether it's on that device or to someone around her, who knows? But
There's
it is very
no one interacting with her. Let's put it that way.
I want to look that up again. But so, Bobby, you believe that she was possibly from the future?
No, I do not know. It's just speculation. I didn't give what I believe yet. I'm just telling you what has been stated and said by, the public out there who's viewed the video.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. It looks very strange and like it could be her talking on a cell phone, but like I said, all of these things I feel can be explained
Well,
in some way.
not necessarily, because here's the thing. You can't explain it. You can explain what you think. You can explain what you think, but you cannot truly explain why she's talking to herself. You can give your theories. People they can pontificate about it, but factually, it is still a mystery of why and whom she was talking to. Now,
People
again,
talk to themselves all the time, though, Bobby.
yeah, no, you're correct. No, not necessarily like that. To me, it's just intriguing things, because here's the thing about time travel or about anything like this, right? Everything is going to be a situation where it's going to be hidden in plain sight. If these things are really going on, like a lot of people believe there are multiple species of aliens that are actually on the planet Earth. And they are not running around looking like a lizard. They are shape-shifting into humans, and they've been here from the beginning of time. So with the particulars of these interesting pictures and situations and circumstances, it just draws upon, your imagination to say, could that be something that's really interesting? Because I truly don't know who she was talking to. Yes, there are a lot of people that talk to themselves, a lot of people that are psychotic. But what makes it interesting, again, she's not like a person that was disheveled, or she actually looked rich, especially for that time period and what she was wearing. I believe she's wearing like a mink coat and, a nice hat. I mean, she is truly dressed up. And I don't know if it was for the set or what, but yeah, to me, they're just interesting points.
Is it possible she was chewing gum and it looked like she was talking?
She had to have a lot of gum in her mouth, Amy, to have her mouth. You got to go back and watch that video. I think that's probably.
I'm doing the act right now. Like if I had a big,
because you don't chew gum like that.
Bubbles.
Yes, you don't.
Hey, don't get me wrong. I so desperately want this to be true. Like somebody from the future or an alien came back. I want that to be true. I'm just saying I'm not.
Yeah, you're not sold on it.
I'm not sold, but I want this to be true desperately. I want aliens. I want time travelers here in our lives. Like, I want all of that.
People are coming on the show, and it's going to be a host of yours that will tell you that these people are here. These people truly walk the earth. These people bring and have technologies that no one can understand or know how to use and why they use it and how they use it. But these are just intriguing things.
Yeah. But I want to see proof, though. I want proof of everything.
That's the hard part. That's the whole thing. But Amy, if an alien appeared to you and started talking to you and sat with you, I think it would forever change you. And I don't know if you can even handle that, but it would be interesting.
What do you mean? Why? What would I not be able to handle, though? I mean, just like anyone else. I mean, right?
Because it's like, okay, why don't you make yourself known? Is it a governmental thing? Is the government truly manipulating us in that regard?
Well, they're smart not to let themselves be discovered, right?
Well, let's say there's 100 species. I mean, that's a lot. I'm hearing like 400 and different types of things. So with all that, we're one species. So imagine all those species walking the earth and no one actually knowing but a handful of people or the government. So you just never know. But again, these are just little interesting tidbits to
She's back.
In my research, I came across an interesting story about a time traveler named Sergei Ponomarenko. And this man was discovered in 2006 in Kiev, Ukraine. He was kind of just wandering around the streets. He didn't look like he belonged. He looked confused. And he was wearing these outdated clothes. And so police approached him, and he actually asked them for directions and he seemed really lost. When they tried to help him, he told them that he was from another time and that he didn't know where he was and he didn't know what was going on. And so naturally they thought he was crazy and they sent him to a psychiatric ward. And so while he was in the psychiatric ward, he told his therapist this crazy story that he was actually from the 1950s and he had been out on a walk with his fiance and they had been taking some photographs and then he was arrested. He somehow teleported, didn't know where he was, and then he was arrested. The therapist went through his belongings and found this old camera that really, it wound up being dated from the 1950s. The film that it used wasn't even made anymore. And when they developed the photos, they found everything he said. They found these old photos of him, his fiance. And then a couple days later, there's security footage of him going into his room. And when they went to check on him, he was just gone. So he just vanished.
That's interesting. Wow.
Do you believe that story?
I don't know, because there have been other people who have, tried researching it and they can't find anything to corroborate it. They can't find the photos. They can't find the therapist. So, but this guy's name, I mean, it's kind of a famous story and you can find this guy's name and the story out there. So I don't know.
Is it possible that the camera was like from his great grandfather and who just happened to look exactly like him?
Wow.
I'm not saying it's not
Jesus.
true. I'm trying to like play devil's advocate of, what skeptics would say. So, he could, you see family, people look exactly like their grandparents sometimes. So,
well, I forgot to mention that part of the story, when they developed the pictures and they found the picture of him and his fiance, based on the name that he gave them, they were actually able to track this woman down. And she was like a 70-year-old woman living in Kiev. And when they went and questioned her, she said that she did have a fiance in the 1950s who went missing.
Oh,
and it was the same woman in the pictures. So
okay, that is fascinating. But that was after he disappeared, so it's not like they could take him to her and say, "Is this your fiance that disappeared?" Like it was
after.
Yeah, she probably wouldn't even recognize him though.
Oh, she'd recognize him. How would you not recognize a fiance?
50 years? That doesn't matter.
You wouldn't recognize like somebody,
No, I definitely recognize classmates that I see, from 19 when they're 19 or 20 years old.
That's different.
And they're
it's different from a fiance, though.
No, I've had.
That's pretty fascinating, actually.
Interesting.
What do the skeptics have to say about that one?
Just like I said, that there's no actual documents, no evidence to back up the story. And the story was actually featured on this Ukrainian, history, weird, it's kind of like an alien show. But aside from that show, no one's ever been able to really back up this story. So that's what the skeptics
do. So I'm quickly glancing at the story. And so the elderly woman said that he disappeared for a few days, but he returned. So he came back. And then she said when he came back, he could see into the future. And he told people that there was going to be cell phones in the future. And then she supposedly, I want to look into the story somewhere. This is actually pretty interesting, but supposedly she showed the officers a photo that was sent by him, and it was dated 2050, and he was an older looking Sergei, and there were skyscrapers in the pictures that did not exist. But I think that's kind of interesting, weird. The fact that he disappeared, but then came back and had all these weird stories for her. So
when he disappeared from the psychiatric hospital in 2006, he reappeared back in 1950.
Yeah, supposedly that's what she's saying. He left he was gone for a few days, came back, and he had all these crazy things from the future. So just like he came to the present day, with things from the past, he went back to the past and showed her things from the future.
What's interesting about this story is that, you know, I found several stories of people coming from the future, you know, to warn us, or just, you know, coming back from the future. This guy was from the past. So I found that really interesting about this story, because I couldn't find many of those. So
Yeah, but like I was saying, that's definitely a time slip situation, because it's not like he invented a time machine and, you know, went back in time and did whatever. So somehow something happened, whether there's a lot of tales about different portals that appear randomly and people step through. But again, if he was able to somehow move back and forward through time, then that's a whole another issue.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, this is an interesting story because you have somebody else who can corroborate certain things, whereas like a lot of the other stories, there's no one there that could say, "Oh yeah."
The Charlie Chaplin thing, I can see that with my own eyes. Somebody's account of something from 80 years ago, that's just an added piece to it. But if I can actually see the footage, to me that does hold a little bit of water.
Yeah.
So, which I don't know if that has been debunked, the whole Charlie Chaplin thing, or what the reasoning for it is, besides it just being a hearing aid. But all right, okay, Amy, you have a story?
Yes. Actually, this one I think is interesting because it did involve more than one person. So it's like, so this is a story that came out of Liverpool, England, and there were several different stories, and they all happened on the same street, which is called Bold Street. So that kind of makes you think maybe there's like some portal situation going on.
Bolt or Bolt?
So Bold, Bold.
Bold. Okay.
So basically, the story goes like this. So this is a common story. It happened back in 1996. There was an ex-cop named Frank, and it involved a bookstore. So he was walking towards the store, and instead of the bookstore's actual name, he saw the word Crips, Cripps, above the door. So he starts walking over to the store, and then there's an older looking box van from the 1950s. It drove past him, and the driver honked his horn at him. So it startled him. And then, Frank looked around, and he noticed all of a sudden, all the other cars around him looked like they were from the 1950s. And then, he happened to notice that everyone around him was also dressed from the 1950s. So, he gets to the bookstore, and then he notices when he looks in the window, instead of seeing books, he sees handbags, shoes, and umbrellas. And so he comes across another woman outside the store. She's staring at the sign, and she's looking just as confused as him, and she makes eye contact with him. But she was dressed in present day clothes like him. So they both go into the store, and when they go in, it's like once again becomes a bookshop. So all of the clothes and everything, shoes, that all disappeared. So he actually, I guess, had a conversation with her, and they both discuss, hey, that was weird. Did you see what I just saw? And they both agreed, oh yeah, I saw the same thing. And so after the incident, he did some research, and he actually found out that the bookstore there actually was a store named Cripps many years back in the 50s. So what's interesting is that's not the only occurrence on the street. There have been other people with different experiences on that same street. So it's one of those things that it's not just one person, it's multiple people. I mean, it could be one of those things that, oh yeah, I'm going to make up a story about that too. But I mean, you never know. But it's kind of a famous street as far as reports of time slips.
Wait, so were they together and they both went into the store together, or they were just two people in the store at the
Yeah,
same
two
time?
separate people. Like I think his wife had gone ahead of him, and then so he held back to do whatever, and then he was going in, and then there was like a stranger, and she saw the exact same thing as him. So it's not like two people that knew each other that came up with a story. It's like two complete strangers who said, "Oh yeah, I saw the exact same thing you saw." So that one I thought was pretty interesting.
Yeah, that's a pretty popular story. And a lot of people that believe the story, they believe it's the area that there's some type of portal that appears periodically, and it shows, different different realities in time, different, like whether it's the past or the future, depending on what side you're on. But I do find that story to be really interesting. That's a really popular story when it comes to that. So, again, that's another thing. Do you guys believe in time portals and portals in general that are on the earth, that are possible?
Yeah.
Like the Mayans walked into these portals and went to whatever.
I think it's possible. Yeah, absolutely. Portals, or just like energy from the past that is still here, something like to that effect. It could be old energy and we're seeing the glimpses of the past. Those I believe in. Yeah, I believe that happening more than I believe time machines.
What about you, Carolyn?
Yeah, I think it's possible, especially if you believe in multiverse or like alternate realities. Because then it's like it's almost like you're jumping from one reality to another. It's not necessarily a case of time travel how we think of it. And I think that that's probably scientifically possible. So
yeah. Yeah, I agree with that one.
You guys want to get into the big story of the night, which I think is Adams, so more than I know we were going to talk about Mike the Magic Man.
We're not talking about Michael Markham?
We can, but we'll see how much time we have. But yeah, we can, because I really want to get into this one, because this is current time, and a lot of claims that this guy has made, they are current. They are currently happening and currently could be possible with his time. So let's get into this. So what I want to talk about is Adam Archon. He's a self-proclaimed time traveler who claims to have come from the year 2045. His story gained significant attention after appearing in various media outlets and online platforms. His claims are crazy. And so I know Amy's going to fill him full of holes with him actually not being out of time. But what his claims are is he possesses a chip in his hand that facilitates time travel. So this guy doesn't have a machine. He is the machine. So what, Amy? That look.
No, so the chip that he has is what transports him?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
And so he's making some incredible claims. And in this whole situation where he's making this claim, he goes on Apex TV and they do a lie detector test on him. So he's actually answering these questions live. So I'm going to go ahead and play this. And when you hear a beep, it's just him, his response being that he's answering correctly, meaning he's testing as a yes, opposed to, I guess it would make a or whatever for a negative sound if he got the answer wrong. But he gets all these answers right. So that's why you hear the little ding in the audio. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into this, because I do think this is interesting, and we can track some of what he's talking about currently. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Time travelers among us? It sounds like science fiction. But is it? We're diving into the realm of the impossible with a segment that will challenge everything you think you know about time and space. We're about to play the audio from a controversial lie detector test featuring Adam Archon, a man who claims to be a visitor from the year 2045. Brace yourselves for predictions of alien landings, world-changing political shifts, and the public release of time travel technology. Is Archon telling the truth, or is this an elaborate hoax? The lie detector results might surprise you. So dim the lights, lean in close, and prepare to question reality. The future, or perhaps the past, is calling, right here on Strange Darkness Radio.
My name is Adam Archon, and I am a time traveler. Hello, I am Adam Archon, and I am a time traveler from the year 2045. I have agreed to do a lie detector test. I need to prove to you that this is true so that you can take the information that I'm giving you and make the world a better place. Yes, I am a time traveler from the year 2045. Yes, I do have an implanted chip in my hand known as the One. You see, when a chip is put into your hand, like it was in my case, or any part of the body, which in other cases can be, since it is a foreign object, my body was slightly rejecting it, so my hand was getting swollen. Luckily, as you can see now, the swelling has completely gone down, and everything is basically normal. Yes, it is true that aliens did land on Earth in August 2028. In fact, we have known of the existence of aliens before 2028, but it isn't until 2028 that it becomes public knowledge. Yes, it is true that time travel was released to the public in 2028, but it was invented in 1981. It was just kept secret until they released it publicly. Yes, Yolanda Renee King does become, and she is in fact noted as the greatest president of the United States. Yes, I can confirm that aliens do not come from space, but I cannot elaborate on where they come from because of the possibility of a paradox. Yes, in 2030, all of the world's countries converge into one supernation. Within the nation, 7 districts are formed. In fact, the United States becomes a state in District 3. Yes, the districts are formed and resembled as the continents once were. Yes, there in fact is an AI that governs the entire world, and 10 people that monitor its decisions. The 10 people mainly monitor the AI's programming and check its morality to see if its decisions are best suited for the people. Yes, there is a single currency, and to form transactions with it, all you have to use is a chip that is implanted into your hand. Yes, there is no cash. Yes, there is an AI that is released to all of the world known as the Light. It is put into every single device, and you can ask it anything you want, and it will give it an answer to the best of its ability. Yes, through the Avatar program, you were able to get your own avatar, connect to it from anywhere in the world, and then you can take the avatar anywhere in the world with superhuman abilities. Yes, you wear a suit to simulate yourself being the avatar, and the avatar will mimic your action. No, you can't get hurt. The avatars are nearly indestructible, but with the slight chance that they are damaged, it will not be transmitted to your body. Yes, overpopulation has become a big issue for the fact that most people live in large cities. Many current cities will be destroyed due to rising sea levels. For one example I will give is Los Angeles. Yes, the location of it as of now is underwater in the future, but the city is practically completely relocated and there is now a new Los Angeles. In fashion, the color spectrum has greatly disappeared. You mainly just see black and white on clothes in the future. Yes, that is why I'm wearing this white shirt with my favorite black and white tie. I promise that I am a time traveler. Yes, in 2045, in full force, we are completely converging with robots. Yes, we can completely upload our mind into a robot in simulation, which we can live in forever. Yes, I've been in many of those simulations. You can visit and do anything you want. I actually prefer the past. I enjoy the history part of it instead of the fictional part of it involved with the simulations. The main reason I actually came back here was because it's around before the time that I was born. I was born December 6, 2019. Yes, I will be born later this year. Yes, in fact, I have numerous amounts of evidence, including a map of the new world. I would, in fact, be open to drawing a picture of the aliens. I can also show you some technology from the future as well. I think all the viewers out there will be really amazed with what I have to show. In the future, holographic displays replace most of regular screen displays. Yes, augmented reality is becoming big. We in fact have contact lenses that can project augmented reality for whoever is the wearer. In fact, you can link two contact lenses. If two people would like to see the same thing, they can link the two contact lenses together and be seeing the same image. Yes, we have underwater cities, much like what you guys would call Atlantis today, becomes a reality in the future. Yes, we do have dinosaur zoos in the future. You can see T-Rexes, Triceratops, Velociraptors. If they existed, you can see it. Yes, people can go and visit things in the past, like to go visit the dinosaurs or major world events. They go in something that you would probably think of as a modern-day UFO. In fact, most UFO sightings in this time are future time travelers. There are people in those UFOs from the future coming back to watch past events. The UFOs have a technology to make them invisible, but at some times they can be faulty or the invisibility can fail, which leads to a UFO sighting. If anyone has any doubts or questions about what I have said, just wait and you will see that everything that I have described will come true. But I will also be happy to answer any questions anyone has.
We need to get him on the show if he's still around, because I have a lot of questions. But that was very intriguing, ladies. And because some of the things that you can see and point to, whether it's the, abundance of AI technology and everyone using it for all different purposes, that's only going to get better. Vanessa talks about that, and just seeing where it has come to today is incredible.
But he didn't say anything that back in 2019 you couldn't have also predicted,
Right. I
yeah,
agree.
no, for sure.
Mhm.
Well, but here's the thing. There's a lot of people, even whether it's Elon Musk or a lot of people that have stated where they want to go with things, right? But no one ever believed or was ever even ready for something as simple as not having cursive, being cursive being taught. I mean, the most simplest things. And the reason why I don't teach cursive anymore is because not that people don't write in cursive. Most people do, right? But the younger students, no, they're used to text and they're used to texting. So it's a skill that they will never actually need. And so therefore they're not even showing them or having to learn the most basic thing. And you would never think that things like that would get pulled out of history, because they're going to, 30 years from now, they're gonna be like, what is cursive? What is that? Like, I don't know how to write like that. Whether
Did he
it's
talk
script-
about that?
No.
Or you're just using that as an
I'm
example?
using it as an example because there are so many basic things that are happening now due to technology that a lot of it's falling by the wayside. And the general public is not even recognizing it until it happens. And then obviously, we all, knew there would be self-driving cars, right? But self-driving cars because again, you a lot of this technology, you can go back to the Jetsons, a lot of old sci-fi movies. You can go back to the Bionic Man and incorporating, bionic limbs, right? So there's a lot of things that we thought it would go to, but to actually to understand how fast technology is moving, what's going to be happening 20 years from now, you would not even think that was possible, is all I'm saying. And that's due to AI and technology. That's all I'm saying. So it's not a point of just calling it out or we know where it's going to go, but it's the bold person that states these are the things that are going to take place. These are the things that are going to happen. I don't know. I'm not yet given my thing whether or not I believe this guy yet, but I just wanted to hammer out some of the things that, that are taking place in real time that he's talking about. And I just find that interesting. That it's because, again, there's a lot of these events haven't happened yet.
Yeah, but like Carolyn said, it's easy for us to make that prediction, like the one about 2045, we will be able to upload our mind into a robot. Like, I mean,
Yeah, wasn't that in a movie?
A lot.
probably, yeah.
Being in a
I
movie
mean-
and being able to actually make it happen and the technology for it are two totally different things. Everything that you guys just laughed about, for the most part, government has had technology that we'll never even see that they've been working on that is so incredible, which I believe is a lot of what we're seeing out there that we may never see until World War III or something catastrophic happens. Do they have the technology to really induce rain and all that stuff? Yes, they do. Do they want to show it to stop the fires in LA? No, they don't. It's not worth it to them to stop the fires in LA. They would let LA burn before they would actually create a cloud system overhead to induce rain. But when we see that technology actually take place, however it comes about, it's technology that's already old to us. Anything the government shows us is extremely old.
Right. And that's one thing he said that I did think was interesting, that he said time travel was already invented in the 80s.
Yeah.
But that they just won't show it to us. So that he said a few things that I thought were really interesting and that kind of make me think, oh, maybe this guy does know what he's talking about. He said one thing that I just think is crazy and that just kind of blew it for me, which is the only wearing black and white in the future. That's not a thing. That's not going to happen.
That is too
Yeah.
It's
funny.
fake.
That is too
I will
funny.
say the good thing is that one of his predictions we can see very, very soon in 2028 that aliens are going to land and become public knowledge. So that's only 3 years from now. So
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen.
we've got 3 years to find that out.
And also, I wonder if we can go and see, because he said that he was going to be born in 2019, right?
Yeah.
So I wonder if anyone
Yeah.
could go and kind of.
But I want to go to what you said, Carolyn, real quick about the black and white. I find that very interesting. Black and white will be the outer exterior of what people are wearing because it truly doesn't matter, because most people will be in VR. They will not be in their own body, or they will be on a whole other plane, in whether it's the lenses with their eyes, or it's their altered body with the avatars, or in whatever virtual world. So what aesthetically you have on, it doesn't matter, and you will not be working. It will be a governmental income. And just like he said with digital money, yes, everybody always says, oh yeah, we're eventually going to go to, only digital money. And I'm going to hate it because the government can track everything I spend or do. If I want to buy something from a garage sale, it's all digitally. They're going to try to tax it. If I want to buy something used from someone, they're going to tax it. All this crap. It's never going to happen. The public won't let it happen. Yes, we will eventually have a digital currency that you will not your check will just be something. Well, again, now also you don't receive a paper check. Most people, it goes to your bank. You use your card, your debit card.
Well, yeah, we're
so
already digital.
Forth. Exactly. But to where there are no transactions as far as monetarily when it comes to cash or coins, it's all digital.
That's interesting. I found that interesting. And when he said that the world is going to become one nation, it's not going to be separate countries. And also the order of things is interesting. So if aliens land in 2028 and it becomes public knowledge, what would happen after that? It does seem like we would kind of fall into this pattern of what he's saying, that we would go digital, we would become one nation. So that's kind of interesting.
So the aliens just announced themselves. They're on TV. Do you understand the chaos and the craziness that's going to take place? People not going to work, people wondering, is there a heaven? Is there a hell? Is there a God?
Yeah, what's the point of anything?
Yeah, exactly.
Why are we doing this?
How long has this been going on? Are we just now being told? Exactly.
Yeah.
There are so many things that are going to take place. Do they have the cure for cancer? How long has the government known about this? Has the government been giving up their civilians or their population to these particular entities? I mean, there are so many questions that will send everybody spiraling into, you want to think the best of people to say, oh no, everybody would be like, oh, okay, let me stop watching. So I need to go to work, and, And let me go to church on Sunday. I don't have any questions really. Maybe God will come down and tell me. I don't know, but So it's just very interesting. Another interesting point that I had to look up because this was interesting to me. Yolanda Renee King, granddaughter of Martin Luther King, who he says is going to become the greatest president. She is now 16 years old. And she does. I've seen her speak and do various things, and I did find it was interesting on her stature and demeanor as she was, she was given a couple of speeches that I saw, and I did find that extremely interesting. But to call out that name and put that under, like putting that out there, that to me is interesting because. Everything in the mama could stop that process or would stop that process from happening of her, and even her own thoughts. Like, no, I don't want to do that. I never would want to become president or whatever.
That's true. Like, why would he, when he said, I'll tell you that the aliens aren't, from space or whatever, but I won't tell you where they are because it could create a paradox. But then he's willing to call out.
Exactly.
Renee King. Mm-hmm. That's kind of interesting.
Yeah. That's extremely interesting. I was like, okay, that would stop the process. You know what I mean? Like right. That would stop her, or anybody would stop her.
Maybe that's what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
See, maybe he came here with an agenda.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
That goes to what I'm saying about if time travel is possible. You never know anyone's reasoning for it and what the outcome, even if they're telling you what it possibly can change or do. But yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe this guy one single bit. I mean, I don't care that he passed the lie detector test.
Tonight, you're rolling with a big hammer. I'm just saying, you're like knocking down everything.
I'm just saying anybody can pass, not anybody, but people have passed lie detector tests. That's why they are not admissible in court, because people have knowingly, fraudulently passed lie detector tests. So who cares if he passed
But
one?
I would ask you this, Amy. Not only did he pass the lie detector test, He passed the portions that said he has technology that he actually can show. He passed questions that he offered
show
that he
them?
did not.
Yeah,
Did he
where's
show
that?
on
Did he
Apex
show
TV.
it?
Yeah. Go to Apex TV, you guys. Check it out.
Okay.
Until he's on Strange
Here's
Darkness
my
Radio.
answer to that.
I mean, I don't know if
The
he showed it on
reason-
Apex. Wait a minute. Wait, hold up. Stop. I do not know what he showed on Apex TV. Just FYI. I'm only going off of his
Showed
lie detector
something.
test.
Yeah. Okay. Here's the deal with him passing that lie detector test. He could just really believe all of that. He
Yes.
is so mentally involved with everything that he's saying. He 100% believes everything that he's saying. And so therefore he would pass that test.
Or he's
You know
a
what I'm saying?
psychopath and he doesn't have
Yeah.
emotions.
Yeah.
He's just lying.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm going to put
that-
you guys
that
under a
is
lie
true,
detector
too.
test and see if you can actually pass it.
Oh, I would love
I
to
would
do a
fail
lie
it
detector.
even if I was I
Amy,
would fail even if I was telling the truth.
that is true
I
with
want to do a
Carolyn.
lie detector test.
And that is not true with Amy, public. I just want you guys to know because she doesn't
Wait,
know what I would
Amy?
ask her. And she would say,
Cold. She would
she would say
pass.
yes. She,
Not
no,
Stone Cold.
she would say yes, but then she would back out because she would start thinking it would get into her head. Bobby's going to ask me all
Yeah.
kind of crazy ass questions.
Well, we'd have to like approve the questions ahead of time, right?
Girl, you are
we
not
should
on
do
trial.
one. Bobby, we should hire a lie detector test and
Don't
like prove.
mess with me, Amy. I'll do it. Prove that you can beat it. So you're thinking you could beat it, a lie detector test.
Well, I'm not saying that I could, but I'm just telling you it is possible that a
I'm
liar
saying you can
pass
beat
that test.
a lot of people probably can beat some questions, but not all questions. I wouldn't say that a
Mm.
person can sit there fluidly and pass every question being asked and it was a lie. I'm not talking about if you're
So-
telling the truth. I'm talking about if you're clearly lying.
Yeah. So somebody sat there and came up with all of these questions and asked him all of this, and he answered every single question and passed.
That's correct.
Mm.
Go to Apex
Yeah.
TV and watch it and then tell us what you think. But it's
Have-
it may even be a modern lie detector test opposed to the old school ones that, go around your chest area. They, do all kind of different vitals just to make sure there's no changes in whether it's your perspiration, your heartbeat, your pulse, just everything. But go ahead.
All right, it is very, very easy to prove whether or not this guy is telling the truth. That interview happened 2019.
Mhm.
He said he would be born 2019. So therefore he would be 6 years old right now, right? So all you have to do is find that Adam Arkin at 6 years old, compare all facial features against the Adam Arkin, the adult that came back, and you'll see, okay, yeah, this matches up. That easily proved right there. Where's the baby at? Where's the 6-year-old at?
Well, and where's the guy from the interview now? Because you would think that he would have to leave before he's born, or else that could create some kind of a paradox.
Yeah.
Right.
is he
Yeah.
still
Where
around?
is he? Yeah. Good question.
I don't know.
Living in his mom's basement.
We're
Probably.
we're basically
Yeah.
going to see, but I think we should leave it on that note. We do want to cover Madman, and what is it, Mike? Let me check my notes. So
Mike
many.
Markham.
Mike Markham. I want to do a separate show on that because he was on Art Bell twice. He's an inventor of a time machine, supposedly, who initially was not trying to make a time machine. He was trying to make a Jacob's ladder, but it all went very wrong in all kind of different ways. And I think that's an episode by itself, only because there's a lot to it. And I'm not sure, Einstein, believes that time travel is possible. Stephen Hawkins did not believe time travel is possible. But so I don't know. Who do you guys think is right? Amy, I know who you believe is right. Because you're going to be at
I
this
know.
party.
I'm not saying it's not possible. I do believe it's
You think time travel is possible?
Yeah, I do believe it's possible. I
Mm.
just don't think we have yet found the way to do so. Or if we have, it has not been proven. There's no proof.
Let me say one
No-
caveat to
Go ahead.
what you're saying. I personally do not believe time travel is possible.
Oh,
I'm surprised
Really?
about that one. You believe everything.
Wow. Shots. I need sound effects. Amy's throwing shots tonight. But no, I do not believe everything is possible. I look at everything with a grain of salt and but I give it its grace. But here's the thing. coming back, because when you always say time travel, you're talking about current time, right? If time travel is ever possible, it's going to happen in 2090, 2080. It's going to happen long time from here, right? And whether or not the person comes back from whatever point in time, I do not know. But if they would, and or would it be possible? But I believe there is nothing that is man-made, even by the government, unless they have alien technology. They have not tackled time travel. That's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Can I ask you, Bobby, do you believe time travel is possible, like more in a metaphysical, spiritual sense? Like your consciousness is able, if you're meditating, or
like astral projection, but just into the future?
Yeah, or the past.
Or past, I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that, because I believe that from what we're created of is only half the story. There's a lot of metaphysical stuff that we can't explain, and a lot of different spiritual attachments, and we're able to move around. It's like astral projecting yourself. There are people that it's never happened to me. I've never slept and rose up out of my body and was able to look down and then fly off to the sunset, or towards the moon, which I know people who have, and I believe what they're telling me. But I just never have done it personally. So I believe that if that is possible, there are other things that are possible. But I'm only particularly talking about a time machine, not a portal, not alien technology. I'm specifically talking about a mechanical machine that man has created.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think it could be possible. Like, if you think of Einstein's theory of relativity concerning time travel, yeah, like how if you travel at the speed of light and you come back to Earth, maybe 5 minutes passed for you, but maybe 5 years has passed on Earth. So if you could somehow apply that to technology and somehow, but like you said, that would be hundreds of years from now. We're not even close. So
it's just coming up with the technology to actually do that.
Or bending gravity. There's some kind of theory of bending gravity and wormholes and things like that.
Wormhole. I think, with wormholes, they are saying the physicists say they are theoretically possible that they exist. They just haven't been found.
And
so kind of
able to open them. So when you're open, then can you even go through it? So there's a lot of questions even with that.
Right. Right. But kind of like the same thing with black holes back in the day. People didn't think they existed, right? And they're now known to exist. So I don't know. It's possible that, they are going to actually discover a wormhole, and maybe there is that possibility that
a way to travel through the wormhole with some new metal technology that hasn't been invented yet, or again that the government has and we just don't have. And if there are alien spacecraft that travel throughout space and time, then obviously they're using that type of technology. But I just believe it's technology that the government might have, but we don't have, meaning the layman's person inventing
like
a time
someone
machine.
in their garage is not building a time machine.
Yes. That's what I
agree.
But
Yep.
But that was our out of time, podcast. That was all over the place, but I'll button it up and make it sound really good for you all out there. But let us know what you guys believe. Are we totally off our rockers and time travel is a thing, and all these drones that are coming back are going to prove to us that time travel is possible? We shall see. But again, if that is possible, is technology coming from 2080 back here? Why they want to come back here, I have no clue. That is the $20 million question. We didn't even get into John Titor. Some say Teeter, some say Titor, Titor, about him coming back and getting an 8880 computer. I believe that's what it was. And he needed that for the future, which is odd. But that's That's a whole nother story for another time travel episode. All right, we are Strange Darkness Radio. Thanks for joining us on tonight's show. Ladies, any last words?
Just have a happy new year. We're back.
As the final notes of our eerie theme fade into the ether, you find yourself slowly emerging from the realm of Strange Darkness Radio. The veil between worlds begins to lift, and reality seeps back into your consciousness. Our guides, Bobby Washington, Amy Tydeman, Carolyn Grey, and Vanessa Scaduto have led you through a labyrinth of the inexplicable, the uncanny, and the downright bizarre. But now, dear listener, it's time to return to the familiar world you call home. Yet, as you readjust to the mundane, you may find that things are not quite as they were before. Perhaps you'll notice shadows lingering a little longer in the corners of your room, or catch whispers on the wind that seem to echo the tales you've heard tonight. Remember, the boundary between the ordinary and the extraordinary is far more permeable than most believe. The stories you've experienced may fade like a dream, but their essence will remain. A constant reminder that there's more to this world than meets the eye. As you switch off your radio, ask yourself, was it all just a flight of fancy, or have you truly glimpsed beyond the veil of our reality? The answer, like the mysteries we've explored, lies within the depths of your own imagination. Until next time, when once again we'll invite you to step into the strange darkness. Sleep well, if you can.